Hello and welcome back to Good Game Nation, where we bring you all things TCG. My name's Preston. Today we are talking about the color blue in our Extra Booster Memorial collection. So we are reviewing, this is our color review for blue. We're going to jump straight into the official website here and talk about our leader, because we're getting a new leader for the next two videos, blue and purple Hannibal. At the end of your turn, return one character with Impel Down with a cost of 2 or more to the owner's hand. Add one Dawn from your Dawn deck active. This is, I think, a potentially really good leader. A leader with ramp innately enabled right there at just the cost of returning a card back to your hand. Isn't terrible. I think if you can find the right on-play things, you're actively ramping up quicker than your opponents. You're potentially getting 3 Dawn after possibly turn 1 if you go second. So 3 Dawn per turn, and if you hit the right on-play effects, it could be incredible. The question is, they're actually on-play effects that are worth this. So let's look at what Impel Down already has. If we're looking at Impel Down both the blue side and the purple side, because there's a potential there to play either, the on-play effects are pretty limited down to Shiryu and Sadie, and then on the blue side there's a lot more, but I don't know if you want to bounce your Luffy or your Ivankov back to your hand to have to play again for 6 cost, but their on-play effects are significant. You also have Magellan, which is disgusting, but that's a very expensive thing. I think the best opportunity would be to bounce Sadie a couple times and get the on-play effect to play one of the Jailer Beast, which seems like a pretty nasty combo. Everything else is blocker or something that you want to stay on your board for, like when attacking and stuff like that. So I don't think you want to bounce those. I don't even think this boa has it. But yeah, I don't know exactly what your targets are there, so I wonder if there's going to be a couple more 2 or greater on-play effects that come in the next set. Haven't seen anything yet, but there's always that potential to get something crazy that would break open this leader. But generally, I think Sadie, maybe Shiryu, maybe it has a decent on-play effect, but it's a Dawn -1, so you're breaking even at that point. But Sadie seems like a really good choice just to be able to get that extra character on board, because you're leaving a blocker on board. If you take the koala, you could leave a double attacker on board with the Minotaur and stuff like that. But getting back into it, let's jump into the rest of our characters here. We have Inazuma. If you have 2 or fewer cards in your hand, draw 2, and that is unrestricted, so that's a really interesting card that I would love to see Nami adopt. At the end of your turn, if you have 2 or fewer cards in your hand, draw 2. So end of your turn, draw 2. Nami would love that. You just have to keep a small hand size, which Nami doesn't like. She wants to keep all of those counters in hand so that she can continue to defend. How it's played now, I would love to see the Nami deck get some spice and play really aggressive instead of super stally. Moving on to Weevil. On play, draw a card. It's quite nice. It's a 4 cost, 6k power. I can see that getting put in the Dofi deck, and with OP-07 right around the corner, there's some stuff that actually makes that quite nice. We're going to skip right over Hamlet. I think the smile stuff is still missing a lot, and it really isn't getting better, so I hope to get more out of it soon. The Prince here bounces 3 or less to its owner's hand when it's attacking and it has a Dawn attached. It's a 2k counter with Impel Down. It's potential target for Hannibal, but it has to stay on the board for a long time, attack, and then at the end of your turn bounce it to ramp. it's an interesting idea to get that 2k counter back into your hand, especially if it does get that effect of being able to return a cost 3 or less to its owner's hand. It gets a ton of value if you're able to use it for every piece of it. Being a 2k, 2 cost that goes back to your hand, being a 2k counter, and then actually being able to activate its effect early on would be incredible. Daz Bones, Mr. 1, has a really cool effect for Baroque Works. If your leader has Baroque Works, this character gets plus 1k power for every 2 event cards in your trash. When on play, draw 2 cards and discard 1 card from your hand. The draw 2, discard 1 is great. It doesn't seem to have the stipulation of it being Baroque Works while that happens. So again, blue cards that draw are incredible, so Nami's loving that as well. And the discard 1 doesn't hurt too bad because that deck already discards a ton out of its hand when needed. Moving on to our blue events. Moving on here. This is quite, I don't know exactly what it is, but they're calling it Champion Rotating Bullet. It's a counter, plus 2k power if you have Impel down as your leader, and then your opponent returns one of their active characters to its owner's hand. That's pretty nasty for a 1 cost event. I can see that being played a ton in the 3 leaders that it applies to. Hopefully we get like a buggy Impel down leader that can use that as well, if only. I don't exactly know where this ends up. Trigger is very strong, returning an 8 or less to the owner's hand. It's on play as a counter that removes one of your cards to your hand and then places the revealed card. So it has a condition of revealing a cost 4 or more and then returning one of your characters to its owner's hand. So it's kind of a weird counter. It does save something, but it has such a weird condition. I can't imagine that it does anything for anybody. And then Logtown, put this card in and 1 card from your hand to the bottom of your deck in any order and draw 2 with a trigger of make this card, play this card. Is interesting to cycle some stuff. I don't know if any blue deck is actually doing this. A 2 cost for a draw 2, but it just kind of feels weird and clunky, and I don't imagine people are leaning into Logtown as an option for their draw power, especially since you have to send this to the bottom of your deck as well. Kind of stinks. I wish it was a tap, send a card to the bottom of your deck, draw a card or draw 2 cards or something, and it had more usability to continue that cycling and drawing. But as it is, I feel like it's going to be left in your binder, in your box, in that bulk. But that's everything we have for blue. What do you think about that Hannibal leader? I think it has a ton of potential. I think Inazuma is going to be played quite nicely into a Nami deck. And then I'm still disappointed with the Smile Fruit stuff. I wish it was there. It still isn't. I think Bandai needs to give up on Smile or completely revive it in purple so that we actually can get the benefit of having those cards in our collections. And then there's Daz Bones and all the other stuff. I mean, even Weevil has a great effect and is going to be pretty sticky at 6k power. So that's an exciting set for blue. I would say out of everything, it's still probably just like it is in the color order mid. I think that there is quite a few cards that are great here. But overall, I don't know if it's going to be as impactful as some of the other stuff that we're going to see or have already seen. Let me know if you agree with me in the comments down below. Is blue a lot better than I'm giving it credit for? And is it really a lot of good things that came out of the set? Or is it just mediocre like I expected? Let me know what you think. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up. Until next time, peace.